And we are back with one of the funniest men alive, Turbo. Now, Turbo, tell us, what have you been doing in the past year?
Well, you know, Zoe, a ton of sex. Always a ton of sex. Quite possibly could be a problem in my life, but always an abundance of sexual intercourse, yes.
Of course.
What are you gonna do? You know, I've been getting hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids have been appearing. Hemorrhoids, large pockets of blood just plopped on my asshole. Just, you know, yeah. A lot of medicines and creams though that have been helping the hemorrhoids. So, you know, we keep moving on. We keep living. We keep living life, Zoe.
That, honestly, is a fascinating revelation. Now, Turbo, please tell me, what do you want to fucking do with your life?
Well, Zoe, I love that fucking language, first and foremost, if I can be frank. But second, you know, I think I just want to make people come. You know, I want to make people, ejaculate and jizz. I want to make people come, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, Zoe, that's my passion. That's my passion, Zoe. You know, I always wanted to make people come. I always wanted, you know, hopefully in the coming future with my new podcast, Professional Child, hopefully my podcast can provide mass fertilization with the people. Hopefully my words can enter the ear canal, work its way down to the uterine lining, go past the tubes they got there, and hopefully, boom, baby, sex, and, you know, my podcast can provide life. I could provide such mass hysteria with my show. I can't wait. That's my passion. That wakes me up every day.
I honestly can't feel my legs anymore, but I think we've run out of time, Turbo. It's been a pleasure having you on. Please come again.
Well, Zoe, I think I'm going to stay.
Well, sadly you can't. You came, you promoted your sex show, you ate a bunch of Taco Bell, leaving nothing but crumbs.
I'm leaving my mark, which I intend to do every Wednesday with my new podcast, Professional Child.
And I'm going to therapy after this.
And it's my money and I need it now.
Okay, good luck with that. Good night, America. Thanks for listening to WCBG Comedy.
And good morning, China.
We'll be right back after this message.
Check, 1, 2, check.
Okay, we're walking into this. Well, I think the walk-in may be good for a nice smooth, like, you know, like a nice entrance. Like, hi, how are you? Like, I'm making my arrival. What's going on, you sexy bastards? How you doing? Professional Child, episode 1, the pilot, the introductory episode of my new podcast, Professional Child. Don't mind him. That's my friend Sam. Sam, how you doing, Sam? Doing good. Nice? Having a good time? There you go. Chill out there. All right, have a nice time. Don't mind him. But we're going to have a nice time today on the first ever episode of Professional Child. This is going to be my new podcast. The last podcast I had was It Is What It Is podcast with Jack the Bus. This is just plain old Turbo with friends here and there. There may be some blockbuster events Dana White may invest at some point into a Turbo UFC blockbuster, SummerSlam, WrestleMania type of event that may happen soon, but just know that Professional Child is where you're going to be seeing it right here on this motherfucking channel, you piece of garbage. So, you guys, how you doing? I wanted to do this for a while. I recorded the first episode, the pilot episode, for a while, because this really isn't the first shebang. This really isn't the first, wow! This really isn't the first, like, holy shit episode of the podcast. You know, every single week when this drops, then this day, every single week, I don't know at this point what the day is going to be weekly. This podcast is going to be weekly, okay? Every single week, you're going to be seeing my face on the channel again. I know I've been away for a little bit, not like the jail, but I've been away to, you know, places. I've been living life, okay? If you didn't see, I have some notes here, because as you can see already, my mind is 5,000 miles a minute. So, you know, if it has some notes help. Say hello to my friend. All right, I had to remind myself where I've been, what I've been up to. So that's a fun one. So in the course of the year 2021, I probably put out, I want to say, if I'm correct, I want to say 4 to 5. I want to say 4 videos. 5 videos, if I could count correctly. I think so. I did, but first of all, let's backtrack. So the year started, I put out my first ever comedy album, Thanks Anxiety. That was a huge success for my first ever debuted comedy album. No one knowing what the fuck is a comedy album, what the fuck is this, where can I find it, what exactly are you giving us comedy they didn't know. It was confusing, and the way it did, and the success it had, I can't thank you guys enough, you sexy bastards. Love that first album, thank you. The second Halloween EP I put out just recently, so I put out 2 comedy projects. I put out 4 to 5, I want to say, regular comedy. I have the Q&A video. So I've been sporadically, when I wanted to, I made videos. And when I felt like I had a drive to do something, I put something out. So, 2020 was the year where I pretty much found out, you know what, this is really what I want to fucking do. I want to be a comedian. I want to do stand-up. I want to do some comedy stuff. And I'm going all for it. 2021, this past year, was kind of like a buffer for my life. It was kind of like, all right, listen, Turbo, you know what you want to do. That's the biggest thing. If you're watching at home, I know one of the things, I can stand up now. I don't give a fuck. I can move my thighs a little bit. I wanted to add this aspect, too, into the podcast. A nice little fucking webcam to show my legs, a little bit of interaction with the body. But I wanted to really put out stuff that I cared about this year. And for you watching home, I know the hardest thing that anything in life could be. One of the hardest things in life is figuring out what the fuck you want to do when you wake up the next day. What the fuck am I gonna, how am I gonna put some scratch into the pocket? So that's one of the biggest problems and one of the biggest dilemmas people have in their life. I gotta sit down, I'm fat. So when it happens, when that time in your life occurs, you gotta, make a choice. So I remember from the earliest age, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to entertain people. I wanted to make people laugh. Then I didn't know where that really fit. And then this past year, 2020, the past 2 years, I really figured out what the fuck I want to do. And 2021 was the year where I had so many ideas. I had so many plans, so many ideas in terms of, I was biting more than I could really chew. I gotta say now, looking back, I was gonna be working with my man Fat Matt, who I still may be working with in the future with some plans. But if you guys know more than me in terms of the entertainment industry or in terms of being a YouTuber, trying to collaborate with other people, life happens. Shit sucks. Shit happens. All right. Like it really. I can't explain another way. The people got jobs. Schedules get filled up, and I'm just sitting there with the pen and paper ready to go, and I'm like, totals. But that's life, and that's what I had to get. That's what I had to overcome this year. This year, I had to overcome. You know what, Turbo? You have all these ideas. It could get executed really well if you had that one other person that, worked well with you. If you had that one editor that wanted to make great stuff, if you had that one cameraman that wanted to make great stuff, I can't find those people at all. I can't. Fat Matt was lovely. Fat Matt was great. His friend Tyler, the guy saw in the Coney Island video, that help was great. But you can't expect people to pretty much, change their lives and schedule their lives around you. It's not realistic. So life happened in 2021. I had my first big passing in my family. My grandma passed early on the year, February, the same day I dropped Thanks Anxiety, the comedy album. So just expect the mind fuck I was at in life at that point in 2021. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing the next day. Yeah, I was just living. Can I be honest with you? From February, my grandma died up until I want to say June, July of that summer when I went to Vegas. I really was just focusing on myself. Honestly, I remember I was working out for a full month in like June. Not as of yet. That was in June. But I remember waking up every day. I was just getting motivated to wake up and go for a run, just sweat out all that fucking THC that's probably in my body. And I wanted just to focus on myself. So I lost a couple of pounds. I went to Vegas. I did my whole fucking spiel at ZWC3. And you know what? It was really, really, really fun. That being the gaming event. If you guys don't know, it was a gaming event I did in Vegas. That was nice. couple STDs. There you go. But yeah, I was really focusing on myself. I came back from Vegas, and that's when I went back to my old ways. Sam, how you doing, Sam? Doing good? He can't hear me. That's all right. He's deaf in the left orifice. But we're gonna continue to have a lot of fun times in this podcast. One of the things I want to do is I want to make this an experience. Joe Rogan, I want this podcast to not only be someone talking for fucking 35 minutes to an hour like blah, 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 blah. The virus. I don't want to have a podcast like that where it's just a bunch of talking and how do you feel about the ice caps melting? I don't give a fuck, really. So, I want this show to maybe a quick segment, right in the middle of an episode. Maybe when I'm talking to someone, a quick little sketch, a skit. I want to create this, you'll see. I can't explain it. I really can't explain it because of how wacky and weird and random I want this show to be. Like every time you click on an episode, I don't want it to be, he's talking to Crazy Rabbit one episode. Okay, he's talking to Justin. He's talking to Rabbit. Okay, cool. I'll be hearing them talk for an hour fucking straight. I don't want that. I want that to be some cuts, some quick edits, some segments here and there that maybe you're listening to me talk to Justin that, holy shit, I'm hanging upside down in fucking Taiwan? What? So, stuff like that you'll be seeing in this podcast where I'll be like, what the fuck? He's in Nicaragua? Where did he go? So, maybe not that. Oh my god, Turbo's in Afghanistan. He's fucking shit up. Is that too soon? Was that too soon, ma? But the plans going forward, like I just said, a lot of craziness. What I want to do for this podcast is mainly just bring back the conversation piece that was on this channel once with It Is What It Is podcast. Every Saturday, you watch me and Jack live talk for almost over an hour every Saturday, and that piece of the channel was always there no matter what I was changing, no matter what content I was drifting towards. The podcast was always there, and we always talked about shit, and we had conversations. You guys knew what was going on in my life. Yeah, I am every day, maybe too much, active on Instagram and Twitter and my YouTube community tab. I do not have a Discord, and if you ask me to create a Discord, it's gonna be deleted because I can't fucking keep up with that shit. Sam, you alright, Sam? We doing good? Nice, Sam, nice. Keep it going, nice. Look at that. But we're gonna continue to have fun, alright? This podcast is only to have fun, okay? If you guys have any suggestions, my Twitter @TurboComedy, my fucking Instagram is TurboComedy. I think everything now is TurboComedy, my social. So please give me some things to do on this podcast. Who do you want to see on this podcast? Who do you want to fucking see? We have here we go. Welcome, Bill Cosby. Just like that, they can come out of the woodworks. We want professionalism. Professionality. We want professionalism. We want this podcast. We want this podcast. How do I say this without being disrespectful? I want it to burn Joe Rogan. I want this podcast skyrocket. And when I mean skyrocket, I don't mean by just ratings. I don't just mean by... Sam, how's that drawing, Sam? Good? Going good? Nice. I just want to make sure you're good. I don't mean, number one. I mean the world will be listening to me. So when you watch this podcast, professional child, get ready to be pregnant. Because that's what's going to happen. I love you. Let's get ready for an amazing 2022. And together, I highly believe highly believe we can kick the swine flu's ass. Have a nice night. Okay, I'm on the floor. Sam, Sam, what'd you draw, Sam? It's over. Podcast is done. What'd you draw? Nice! Look at that. It's a fucking gnome doing BDM, huh?